Hello, my name is Anthony Wilson, and this is New Energy Conversations. Today I'm talking to Mark Luquan, the president of the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago. What is energy efficiency?
Energy efficiency is how well you are able to utilize your energy for whatever purpose you're using it for. In the case of supply and demand, you're normally trying to talk energy efficiency on the demand side. In the case of the world, we can see that in accordance with the Global Commission on Energy Efficiency by the IEA, International Energy Agency, they issued a report on energy efficiency and said that if it wasn't for some of the initiatives already started on energy efficiency and being efficient with the use of whatever source of energy you use, whether it's fossil fuels or whether it's clean energy, we would have actually had 14% more emissions than what we, ended up with. So it's fortunate that the world needs to focus on this issue. I think if you take the conversations today, it's either shut off fossil fuels, wind up renewables, which is an extreme situation. And takes a lot of time to get there.
And a lot of money as well.
And a lot of money to get there and a lot of resources to get there. If you look at that whole picture emerging, you see natural gas being one of the cleaner energy fuels compared to coal and oil. So when we talk energy efficiency in the context of Trinidad and Tobago, because we are not coal and we are not, oil for electricity here, but it is relevant for the Caribbean region. It means that we should be focused on how the demand for energy is happening. And therefore, it's important to look at some of the areas, other parts of the world, that have already tackled some of the energy efficiency areas. In Trinidad and Tobago, electricity is cheap, as you know, and the patterns of behavior is one where, why not use more? No problem. But the impact of that is really the use of more energy. And in a country like Trinidad and Tobago, where your natural gas situation for power, which is what you have, is constrained, it means there's even a more localized imperative here in Trinidad and Tobago to focus on energy efficiency. What that means is to pay attention to power.
So, does energy efficiency, in your view, mean higher price electricity?
Prices is quite independent from usage. So when I talk energy efficiency, it's not the price of the energy. No, there's a relationship. Because if you price the energy in accordance with true market value, and it is much higher than what we are pricing it at today, you will find the patterns of behavior change as well.
Yes.
So I would say pricing is one mechanism to say control energy. The other mechanisms are laws, standards, education, things that we're doing right here, and a general focus on how are we using our precious molecules of gas for the value of the country and at the same time to be more efficient going forward. In the case of culture of the country, you see that a lot of this thinking doesn't happen overnight. And if you follow countries like Chile, they look at it very holistically. So we've been there actually, and there's a Sustainable Development Agency looking at measuring energy efficiency nationally. There are color codes, standards, laws, education and awareness from kindergarten, right? Where people become very conscious of the energy efficiency of a appliance that they use, a car that they drive, and pooling versus going with your own car. There's a national awareness. And I think that is what we mean as a national entity here in Trinidad and Tobago, that if we have to transition, put it that way, from the current state of business to cleaner sources of energy, there must be a period in between where we think this makes a lot of sense.
Right. Mr. Lokwan, thank you very, very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.